Okay, so this morning, everyone, we're going to have a kind of a round table with our Reset Sunday call. And Reset Sundays are designed around talking with people. Normally, we'll have one leader come on, and they'll bring 3 or 4 of their team members on to discuss what they've been doing during the week to reset, renew, refuel, to be rewarded on Monday, basically going forward. So we talk a little bit about what's working, what kinds of tips we can give you, and those folks usually share, exactly what's happening in their world. So today, what we've done is we've asked Mike King, Triple Diamond, and John Aremzo, Blue Diamond, to come on. And I'm going to, first of all, Mike, you're there. I'm going to make sure I've unmuted you. Can I hear you?
Yeah, I'm here, Don.
Okay, perfect. And I'll get John here unmuted, and just give me a second. Wait a second. John, you should be unmuted now. Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly. So, guys, this has been an interesting 4 weeks. Let's say, basically, let's call it a little longer than 4 weeks. May 16th is when Dave released the Slim Roast Optimum to the field, and it's been an interesting, for me in particular, I would say my business is up 70% at a minimum over the last 4 weeks. John, I'd like your comments first off, and Mike, maybe we'll go just to you, John, first. John, have you seen just from a standpoint of increase in business, from a standpoint of just sharing with everybody, have you seen an increase in the business since May 16th?
Well, I mean, there's an increase, Don, in every part of our business. I mean, you can feel the energy. You can see the numbers, both from the enrollments and, which is reflecting into, the volume. It's turning into numbers at the conference calls, at the events. I mean, I even look at your tour that you had done, Saskatoon, Regina, Winnipeg, and here we are, we're coming into, the end of June, approaching July, the heart of the summer, and to feel this, I mean, I'm 30 years in the industry, and there's very, very few times in my career that I have felt this type of energy and excitement moving into the summer. So I could not be more, excited. One thing that just popped into my mind, Don, as you were, talking about restart and what's working. And I tell you what's working is the product, right? I mean, the Optimum product is an absolute, it's a killer product. It is a product that people have tremendous confidence in, and that confidence, parlays into them wanting to talk to people, right? I mean, they want to share the product because their confidence is so high in that product. And so, yeah, I mean, every marker, every indication, every measuring stick that we can think of right now is up. So
perfect. Okay, so I put down confidence is up, every measurement, every marker that you could look at to really grade the business since May 16th is up, which is great considering, your industry savvy and just how much of an expert you are. Mike, do you want to share your thoughts around May 16th to today?
Well, what I see, Don and John, is there's joy again. If you bring joy back into the marketplace or whatever you're doing, you're going to have an increase in productivity, an increase in sales, an increase in work. If people are happy doing what they're doing, and this new Optimum, it got smiles back on people's faces. The taste, as soon as people taste it, it's like, oh my God, this is awesome stuff. And so, to me, everybody's happy. They're happy doing what they're doing. They're not struggling to, hey, I know you may not like the taste, just add in some keto creamer. People don't have to talk people into anything anymore. It's just, hey, have a drink of this coffee, and they fall in love with the taste, and then the product and what it can do for you takes over, and then the passion takes over the joy, and they're all in.
That's funny you mentioned the word joy, because the word passion is often what we use in this industry, is you've got to have the passion and the belief. But John, have you ever heard that term used in the network marketing industry, joy?
I tell you, when as soon as Mike said that, I wrote it down. I thought, now that really, is a powerful word, and especially, coming out of, kind of a period of time where, Mike kind of described that. I mean, the joy wasn't there. There was frustration, and that frustration is gone. The joy, I absolutely love that word. That is a great description.
It really is. It's a three-letter word that inspires people for resetting. I mean, when you think about resetting, renewing, refueling, what can do that more for a person, an individual, somebody that we care about, somebody we've introduced this program to, than to put joy in their life, right? And really, that's kind of the thing that I honestly believe that to take control and the team and you, John, being a leader of all of us, really love to do. And that's why the three of us in particular, and I just want to, I'm not singling out anybody in Valentus here at all, folks. Don't think or read between the lines. But I just want to say that my honest joy to be in the company of you two guys anywhere we are is always absolutely obvious. People see it. We're smiling, we're hugging, we're sharing, we're doing a social beverage together, and we're high-fiving. That's joy. And really, we're seeing that across the board in the field right now. So awesome. Hey, Mike, there's the nugget of the morning, the word joy. Mike, do you want to add to that?
Well, it's kind of funny. I actually I was reading a book, and it's called Selling Sunshine, and it's by Tony Hartle, and I was reading the book, and I don't read a whole many books because I just it was an excuse that I had before. I didn't have time, but I'm making time for it, and that's one thing he says is bring joy back into the workplace. And that's what Valentus has done, as far as I'm concerned. People are having fun again. They're enjoying what they're doing. And, if you have a happy, upbeat, and enthusiastic team members, you're going to generate tons of happy clients. So,
for sure,
the word joy it seems fitting for Valentus.
Absolutely. So, guys, let me start off with my first. I'll start off first and give everybody, from my perspective, what I did this week to reset, renew, refuel, to go forward and be rewarded. And I will say that after this call, I'm going to make a post on my regular Facebook feed that you're all more than welcome to copy and share. And I think you're going to find it very powerful. I think you're going to find it something, as a marketer, which is what I pride myself to be, I think it's going to be a marketing story that will absolutely resonate with all of the people that you've talked to in the past, all of the people that you're about to meet in the future, and through your travels through the summer. And I promise you, it will open their eyes. So let me give you that thought process. So one of the things that occurred to me this week as I was working with people is I would hear things along the lines of, when is the restriction going to be lifted? Now, for those of you that are on the call here that are new, listening to your first Sunday reset call, what that refers to is, when can I buy more than one of the three of the product? Okay, so one tub of Optimum with something else during a 3-box loyalty at the end of the month, or 3 in a 6, or now 8 in a 16. Okay, of course you can order one individual Optimum, and you could order a second one and a third one. And somebody will argue, well, why is that available? Why can we do that and not buy 3? Why do I have to buy 3 individuals? Well, it's the cost, folks. This is a very high-end production cost. And, John, you physically were in the facilities. You had a chance to tour it yourself, and you saw some things firsthand that obviously, being in the industry for as long as you have, you were privy to that many won't be privy to. And you were blown away by the manufacturing process, which obviously, as you ramp up and build your numbers, we can get the cost of the individual product down enough so that when we come to the masses and they're ordering 6 and 16, that cost per unit that you're paying has to be reflected in what the company can afford to pay out in the compensation plan. So it's very important for us all to understand that this is a business that we're not having to pay the money to operate. We get to benefit from the operation scaling in this company. And that, as a business owner for myself since 1984, building a business, losing millions, making millions, understanding the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial spirit. I absolutely respect the heck out of Dave Jordan and what he's doing. He's got it right, folks. So back him up on this. And I'll go through my thoughts around what I'm doing to share that in a way that doesn't describe too much detail. But, John, can you just touch on your experience at the manufacturer and just how excited you were when you came back, your tour there just recently?
Yeah, Don, I guess, you brought up the cost, right? And, I mean, there's a reason, right, why this coffee tastes unbelievable, right? I mean, Dave absolutely pulled out, all the stops and said, I want the best, not just tasting, but effective coffee there is. And, because, a lot of, and I absolutely not, I believe completely that we have the absolute best coffee. But, Kevin, the manufacturer there, when we had went through there, he showed us a process that there's no other company doing, a particular step that is giving us that robust taste. And it's an expensive step, but the whole process, when you can see, tubs or bags or containers of raw material and see how that actually comes together, and this one particular very time-consuming step that they do to give us this flavor, it blows you away. But it comes back to that word you mentioned earlier, confidence, right? And it definitely put a smile on my face that could be described as joy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I wanted you to touch on that because you physically experienced the manufacturing and the ramping and the scaling, and folks, this is not a manufacturer in a let's call it a trailer park. This is a major deal. This is a partner. Mike, we are. We're at the very early stages of our growth, and I was going to touch on this now, so maybe I'll do that. I'll let you comment on my comment here. So, as I said, resetting this week for me meant I was hearing people saying about the ramping up of the product, which was my comeback to them a little bit to say, hey, here's what we're doing, here's why we're doing it. Remember, we did this with the cocoa. Remember, we did this with the keto creamer. It's nothing unusual. They said, you're right, I forgot about that. Then they were even able to reset a little bit. But here's the exciting post I'm going to make here right at the end of this call that you can share. Folks, I want you all to think in terms of, my wife and I sat around this morning, and Nancy just walked in. She was just saying, I'll let you say good morning, sweetie, to everybody, and then I'll just finish my thoughts. Just say a quick good morning.
Good morning, everyone. All I want to input, too, is there's been a lot of focus on the weight loss, but something that I got from Joan Jack that gave me a call the other day, and she said the willpower. It's unbelievable for her for willpower because she doesn't have those ravenous cravings that would set her off to make bad choices. She said that consistency of not having that ravenous hunger has allowed her the time to sit down and make better choices. And I hadn't really thought about that. So we're also out there talking about the optimum and the power that it has to give you willpower. That's amazing. It's a really amazing attribute to focus on, too. So I'll give it back to Dawn, and I hope everybody's having a great summer day.
So here's my thoughts around my reset. So Nancy and I were chatting, and we were saying, I said to her, honey, what's the average grocery bill people pay weekly as a family of four? And she'd say somewhere between $300 to $500. I think that's pretty common numbers. So $300 to $500 per week. So that's roughly $1,200 to $2,000 a month in actual groceries being spent. So what if you could actually crush your cravings and actually consume products that actually paid you, not in money, but in less money being spent? And so the process that I'm describing here is that the average weight management program out there, healthy-wise, will say you should only lose 8 pounds. That's about what you should lose, 2 pounds per week to do things right. But they're going to charge you for the average traditional commercial weight management program out there, names that are on TV and names that you've seen in advertisements, somewhere between $300 to $500 or $600 or $700 per month in fake food or whatever the heck their program is. So if we take the lower end of that at $400 and we divide that by 8, that's $50 a pound that those people are willing to pay to lose that weight. So 8 pounds of weight loss, $400, $50 a pound. Well, I started to think about our Slim Roast Optimum, and I said, okay, let's take the high end of the scale. The high end of the scale is I've paid my US $59.99 for one tub. I've paid some shipping. It arrived here, my dollar exchange. It's $90 Canadian in Canada. So I've spent $90 on a tub of Optimum, and pounds. Think about what I'm just saying to you, folks. I spent $90 to lose 8 pounds. That's $11.25 a pound I paid to lose 8 pounds. And I can tell you, with the God's truth here on the phone, I've lost 16 because I've been doing two cups a day, and I'm blown away. But it is right. It's 8 pounds on that single cup. $11.25 at the high end scale. So the math, when I'm sharing and I'm resetting with people, if they come to me and say, well, why can't I buy more? I say to them, so what are you willing to pay to lose weight? Are you willing to pay $11 a pound, or do you want to pay $40 or $50 or $60 a pound that all those other companies out there are charging you? That's given me a complete reset, folks, and I'm about to share a post along that thought that you can all share in a little bit. But Mike, does that make sense to you, what I just shared as a reset vehicle?
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people they don't think about the cost they're spending to gain weight. And, that's one thing that I like to talk to people about too, Don, if you want to kind of flip it a little bit, is they don't think about the cost they're spending to gain the weight. And it's a fraction to lose it. And that price point is something that Valentus has always, they've held steadfast, is that $59 package, right? And so it makes sense. I agree with you. We just have to get people thinking about what they're spending to gain weight and what they're willing to spend to lose it.
Yeah, like when I was saying my grocery bill, I've cut out a minimum of 10% of what I'm eating per month. So at $1,200, that's $120 a month I'm saving. At $2,000, that's $200 a month I'm saving in eating less food, to your point. So that's the real nut of everything we're describing here when we're talking to folks, is what if this product paid you to consume it? And as Rick Gerald said in a post I read of his at one time, he says, gosh, they're giving this stuff away for free. It's true, because you're eating less, which means it's costing you less to consume it. So it's powerful. John, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, absolutely, but I really, it's something I've never actually ever thought about, was what Mike just said, the cost, how much we spend to gain weight. I think that is a great, that's really an exciting way to look at it too. So both sides of that are very, very powerful.
My uncle, Roy, rest in peace, used to say to me when he held his belly in front of me when I was a little boy, he'd say, it cost me good money for this belly. It's true. Hey, John, you could probably relate to that, because I know you and Dave have always said how much you love eating.
Well, it's kind of funny because, you talk about that word. I'm just thinking of the word joy, because of what Nancy had mentioned, the cravings, the way it cuts your appetite. It almost has, taken a little bit of the joy away from, if that makes any sense. I mean, yes. Because I'm not enjoying the food like I used to, and you're eating and think, and I don't know what it does, but even to my taste buds, things just don't taste quite as addicting. Where you just want to.
Yeah, they say it cuts out your carbohydrate craving out of your brain. So that's really what it is. It's not that it's killing your taste buds. It's just that your demand for those tastes are not necessarily there.
Right. Yeah.
For sure. Hey, Mike, what's your reset strategy for this last week here? Maybe we'll let you finish up here and kind of go through some reset ideas that you're doing with your team going forward.
Well, the biggest thing is just, start over and go through the manual. Stay duplicatable, do what you want your team to do. If you're doing things that aren't duplicatable, your team thinks, well, I can't do that. And so one of the biggest things we do on, on our take control meetings and stuff is we pull leaders up, and that keeps them accountable. They're going on social media, they're learning new skills, and then they're teaching them to the rest of the group. And we're finding that is growing leaders. We're getting a really good core group, and then that's duplicating down. So that's kind of what we're doing, Don, is getting that joy back, getting the excitement back. Valentus has done that. Dave continues to just hit the high mark. His standards don't drop, they stay high, and so if his standards stay high and they don't drop, the rest of the crew below, that's the way we're going to be too. So it starts from the top and it flows down, and we're just continuing to do that right to the new person.
Well, as you said, restarting or starting over, that can be a scary thing for many, because the motivation factor can be something that you don't have the discipline to do. But as an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur, Mike. You've gone through major ups and downs in your business career, not just Valentus. I'm saying your business career. So you've got, pardon the expression, a little thicker skin than the average. And same with myself and my wife, Nancy. We've seen a lot. So for us, it's easy to look in the mirror and really analyze what we did right and wrong and restart. But I want to just share with everybody, I just got a message from your brother, and I just thought this is an awesome point he's just made here, folks. He says this: cost me thousands to get fat, and if I kept going that way, it may have cost me my life. Well, thank you, Neil King. What a great thing that you've shared with us here this morning on a message that really ties into what you were saying, Mike, there, which is, what did it cost you to gain the weight, but what could have that cost you? It could have been your life in your brother Neil's case. Do you want to comment on that and the joy you see in your brother these days?
Well, that's part of my drive in this business is seeing the change in people. Seeing Neil, how he's becoming an example to everybody around him, the people in his shop. How his business runs better because he's got the confidence, and a lot of the leadership in Valentus has taught a lot of great things. It really does make sense to change the people around you, and so that's an incredible statement Neil just said, because there's so many people. You could name Carolee up in Northern Prevailers, 75 pounds down. She's changed. She's a leader. She steps up, and the confidence is there. And I use her for connect calls and three-way calls. And so it's incredible how we are changing people, Don. And it just comes from, you said it before, we've had struggles. We've had to fight from the bottom and crawl to the top again and get knocked back down off the mountain. And it just takes that undying commitment and persistence to have that vision. And Dave, that vision that Dave has is to make this the best company in the world. And if everybody gets that ownership mindset, that they want to be the best, they want to be with and surrounded by the best, and Valentus is your key. It's your vehicle. And the people in this company, the leadership in this company, they're going to surround you and pull you to the top. And it's a really awesome feeling.
Really is, and no good things happen alone. You often need that person to be there with you to support you when you have those downturns. And Mike, you're often the guy that gets on the phone with me, and we talk heart to heart, and we have a great relationship. John, same. You and I have got that relationship. John, you want to leave our final thoughts on Reset Sunday here on what you would recommend to the folks in terms of you looking back at their week and then going forward to be rewarded on Monday?
Yeah, absolutely, Don. I think, first as I'm just listening to the call here this morning and really just over the last 30 days of the different things that have taken place, but just this particular call right now, there's just some really great nuggets that have come out of this call. And it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business, you continue to learn. You continue to learn and pick up little things like that word joy. And so, one nugget would be, just you have to stay plugged in, right? You have to stay plugged in. And so, if you're on the call, you're obviously plugged in. I think the other thing is, it's very invigorating and exciting, is to prospect, is to get out there again and really prospect, right? And utilizing tools in that process. I brought 3 new people in the last 10 days. And so I'm excited about it. It invigorates you, right? Bringing that new blood, that new excited person in, and what makes that happen is, the excitement and confidence that I have. So.
Yeah, and to your point, the final thought here on the call is tools. Folks, this business is all about duplication. So if you're the best salesman, don't sell. Back off. Use the tools. Use the processes, which is calls like this, the 3-way call and the connect call to get other people telling the story. Just stick to the process. Don, you did an amazing call on Saturday, and I actually recorded it last Wednesday when you did that call for us when Nancy and I were at our Wednesday meeting in Winnipeg. Go back, folks. Listen to that call that John did. He said, what's your personal checkup? And I've actually posted a picture of Nancy, myself, and John in there. It's a very good 30-minute call that you could share with your teams. Do that personal checkup, and that'll help you reset, renew, refuel to be rewarded this week. So, guys, thanks for joining me. I think it was a great call. I'll post it right now. Share it with your teams. And, again, I just posted that one about the groceries versus the 8 pounds versus eating less and what would you pay per pound. I just posted it, so go ahead and share it if you like. All the best, everyone. Have a great rest of your day on Sunday. Thanks, guys, for joining me.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks, Don. Thanks, Mike.
Okay. Thanks, John. See you soon.